feeling? It's an energy, like a freight train, gradually gaining steam until it becomes a force. Momentum.
They can play with the best teams in the country.
Touchdown, Texas! And the Longhorns have it. Wow! But the Bears know a bit about momentum, too. How it swells and swings, shifts and stalls. Baylor back in business. One game could be the difference between being back and going backward. Texas, Baylor.
It's the Big 12 opener for third-ranked Texas and Baylor from Waco. McLean Stadium sold out, jam-packed for what has been a series dominated lately by Baylor. If you look at the last 10 years, overall in 112 previous meetings, Texas has been dominant. The third most played opponent for the Longhorns, next to Texas A&M and Oklahoma. As we mentioned, you go back to 2010, the last 13 meetings, Texas just one more win than Baylor, and the Bears have won the last 2 games here in Waco. As we check in with Tom down to the field.
Well, Coach, through the first 3 weeks, you've been able to show that you can close out games, particularly in the fourth quarter. How important is it to get off to a fast start here in the first quarter on the road?
Well, you never know what you can predict fast. What I want to see us is execute really well early in the game, show good poise and composure with the crowd, and just start the game. If we execute well, we'll start fast.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Steve Sarkisian, 16-12 now in his 3rd season. Dave Aranda on the other side won the Big 12 championship, went to the Sugar Bowl 2 years ago. Last year, 6-7 record, and not off to a good start, although they had Utah on the ropes, but some late turnovers. They end up losing that game week 2 by 7. They got their first win of the season last week against Long Island. It is hot. It is humid. It's 96 degrees. With humidity, it's 103, which is the 3rd hottest on record in McLean Stadium history. On the field, it says 110. I don't know if you saw Tom Luganbill's Twitter account, but he tweeted earlier that at one point, about an hour and a half ago, on the field, it was 148.
Is that hot?
It's hot. You're down there,
It
pal.
feels like it.
Good luck. At least the sun's down. Texas won the toss, elected to defer. Baylor will get the ball, and we'll see Sawyer Robertson to start the game. But the Baylor coaches in our meeting with him hinted this week that if things don't go well for Robertson, he's been struggling a bit, that we could see R.J. Martinez, who's the 3rd-string quarterback. The normal starter, Blake Shapen, is out with an injury suffered week 1. Will Stone will kick it off for Texas. Dawson Pendergrass is deep, along with Richard Reese for the Bears. With the horns off to the SEC, 2024. Very well could be the last time we see these teams play football against one another. And Reese going to let this go through the end zone for a touchback. Mississippi State will start, or Mississippi State, that's where Sawyer Robertson started his career. Even though he's from Texas, grew up in Lubbock, he was an excellent high school football player, Texas Player of the Year back in 2020. Didn't play a ton in Starkville, just a handful of games. Threw only 11 passes, 1 interception. This year thrown 3 picks. We talked about the turnovers week 2. He threw 2 interceptions in the second half against Utah. They need more, obviously, out of him if they're going to win this game tonight. Baylor does have a good running attack with Richard Reese, just under 1,000 yards a year ago, and Dominic Richardson is back from injury, transferred from Oklahoma State. He's good too. Play on first down, out in space to Jackson, and shoved out of bounds after a short gain. Jalen Ford, one of the best players at the linebacker position of the country, on the tackle.
And Jeff Grimes wants to get Sawyer Robertson into a rhythm, get some early success, easy throws, look for them to get him outside the pocket. He's got great mobility. He's been kind of nursing a bit of an ankle since that Utah game, but he's had a better week of practice. As Jeff Grimes told us, he's best on the move, and it's imperative he gets off to a good start here tonight.
Richardson into the game now at running back. And it's play action. Robertson is sacked by Bush back at the 21-yard line for a loss of 6 on the play.
There's the play action and boot, but we see Jett Bush come off the edge, does an excellent job fighting through the block of the tight end, kind of falls down as he's coming back across the line of scrimmage. Negative play created there by Jett Bush, and now Sawyer Robertson, this offense way backed up behind the chains, the last place they want to be.
Especially with the way he's thrown the ball this year. Now you've got to get 15 yards here, and they go empty. Robertson in trouble, sacked it, back-to-back plays. This one back at the 14-yard line. Byron Murphy, who caught a touchdown pass a week ago. He's in the backfield, and an awful start for Baylor.
And Byron Murphy has been one of the best defensive tackles in the Big 12 and across college football. He is strong, and he is tough to deal with from the interior. Going to be a real challenge for Clark Barrington and this offensive line all night. Just a 3-man rush, but you see the activity working back inside, and a big sack here to kick off this opening series for the Longhorn defense.
And a penalty marker down pre-snap. That's going to back up the true freshman punter Palmer Williams into the end zone.
False start, number 24, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Dave Aranda talked a lot this week, the head coach of Baylor, about how his team has been so good in practice, but it hasn't translated to games. He told us, we talked to him last week, wasn't a great practice for his quarterback, but overall he felt good coming into this game. But they look asleep early on.
They better be careful. Xavier Worthy is one of the best punt returners in college football. 9th overall at 16 yards of return.
And again, true freshman punter gets it away from his goal line. This is a good kick. Worthy under it, and the fair catch made at the 42-yard line. All right, to introduce the quarterback for the Texas Longhorns tonight, here are Quinn Ewers' teammates.
Quinn's a great leader, just being more vocal in the locker room, just stepping up, just being that guy.
His leadership and the way he's going about his business this year, I feel like he's more dialed in.
Having that attitude and confidence mixed with his leadership ability, it makes a prototype quarterback.
I took playing at Texas for granted last year. That's what Quinn Ewers told us when we met with him yesterday. Off to a terrific start in 2023. 8 touchdowns, no interceptions. And a pass play on first down behind the line, and Worthy is lit up. Caden Jenkins, a true freshman, in the backfield with a takedown and a loss of 7.
Well, they raved about Caden Jenkins to us yesterday. 6'3", from Louisville, Texas, plant drive and break on that football. Create a huge negative play and tackle for loss.
So 2nd down and 16. Here's Jonathon Brooks getting the carry. No running room there. Able to push forward to the 42. Gabe Hall in there first. Jonathon Brooks last week, a career high 164 rushing yards against Wyoming in his first career start.
Brooks has waited his turn, and he's made the most of it. Last 5 quarters, he's been outstanding. Really good offensive line for Texas up front. And Tom, the real story today is going to be for this Baylor defense. Can they play too high and slow down and limit this Texas rushing attack?
Yeah, especially with a 4-man front and 4-man rush only, and they've got Texas behind the chains exactly where you want them.
Ewers on 3rd down and long. Short pass going to hit Sanders, the tight end. He's got blockers out there, and it looks like he's got a first down at the 47-yard line. One of the things Steve Sarkisian told us yesterday, praising his teammates blocking out in space.
Yeah, and it's Jordan Whittington, the senior, that does everything with an excellent block. Also, Adonai Mitchell helps springing the talented tight end, Jatavion Sanders. Well schemed up play by Steve Sarkisian and a big 3rd down conversion.
And Sark told us that everybody's grinding harder this year, starting with Quinn Ewers. Jordan Whittington on the nice design with 2 players in motion. And Whittington tackled at the 42, a 5-yard gain. Devin Lemire, who's back this week, been out due to injury the last couple games with the tackle.
With Jordan Whittington, we talk about all these weapons. He's kind of forgotten. Boy, he's been here forever. He's a true leader, gritty, physical player, and really good with the ball in his hands. Nice block on the previous 3rd down and a quality pickup on 1st.
Empty set now for Ewers on 2nd down and 5. With time and everybody covered, Ewers takes off and downed at the 40-yard line, dragged down by Gabe Hall, a player the Baylor coaches feel should be a dominant player. He was that against Utah.
Yeah, he can be as good as he wants to be. Can be disruptive, long levers, and with this Texas offense, it's gotten off to a lot of slow starts with a real point of emphasis to get off to a good one here.
In trouble in the backfield, and down he goes. A loss on the play of 2. They were all over Jonathon Brooks, led by Matt Jones, and now it's 4th and 6, and Texas will punt it away.
Once Cooper lands, Matt Jones, the undersized nose tackle with excellent penetration, and the 5th-year senior linebacker coming downhill to get a big stop on 3rd down, get the defense off the field, and force a punt.
It does do this. It's exactly what Texas did last week versus Wyoming. One of the reasons why I asked Sark about the start. This is not how you want to see Texas come out from an execution standpoint.
It was 10-10 in the 4th quarter. Texas, though, with 21 fourth-quarter points for the 2nd straight week, as that appeared to cross the goal line. I thought that was a touchback, and we're waiting for the official signal. There it is, a touchback. They will come out to the 20-yard line. So Baylor ball when we come back early. 1st quarter in Waco, scoreless.
ABC Saturday Night Football is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Taco Bell.
About 2 years ago, Baylor with a great comeback in the 2nd half to beat Texas. They went on to win the Big 12, beat Ole Miss at the All-State Sugar Bowl. Scoreless here early on, and a run play on 1st down to Richard Reese getting outside and about 7 yards on the game. Well, Dave Aranda, in a long meeting with us yesterday, told us that in order to fire his team up, he wanted to show them clips throughout the week of the movie Godfather. In particular, and I got to think this is the first time it's been discussed on ABC Prime College Football, the scene where Michael Corleone plans to whack Salazzo, right? And he said because he showed initiative, he didn't flinch, and the rest of the guys in the family had his back. And that's what he wants from Sawyer Robertson and this Baylor team today, as Reese on 2nd down is gobbled up at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
We were so inspired by the Godfather references. We had to watch it last night in its entirety to prepare for the game. But, you know, make the choice. Go out, believe in the plan, and don't flinch. That's the message throughout the course of the week for Dave Aranda and this football team to try to get this season on track here as they kick off Big 12 play.
3rd down and 2, and a quick pass play out in space, and it's a 1st down. Hal Presley, his 9th catch of the season and 4 touchdowns a year ago with Ryan Watts in coverage, but the Bears get their initial 1st down of the game.
Good block on the perimeter. Kelsey Johnson, the tight end. As they get the ball to Hal Presley, you see some quick, easy throws here early on. 2nd time already. Jeff Grimes allowing Sawyer Robertson to get the ball out quick, easy throws to try to get that confidence up.
And Dusty, it keeps them ahead of the chain so that when they do want to run it or get some play action involved, they've got some options.
Richardson in trouble in the backfield and grabbed by Byron Murphy. Vernon Broughton in the backfield as well. 3-yard setback.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, Byron Murphy might be one of the best. Watch him just penetrate and get in that gap. Give nowhere to run for Dominique Bridgeton. Well done by Broughton, setting the edge as well. But Byron Murphy, strongest player on this Texas team. He's extremely athletic, plays with great pad leverage, low to the ground, tough to block, and already off to a great start here tonight.
So 2nd down and 13. Again, this isn't where you want a quarterback that's been struggling with his confidence. Robertson in trouble and brought down again at the 25-yard line. Vernon Broughton with the stop, a another negative play. Loss of 3, and now you're staring at 3rd and about 16.
Well, that's the coverage down the field. Nowhere for Sawyer Robertson to go with the football. Would like to see him be a little bit more, make a decision quicker, tuck that ball and try to run. Now the 3rd sack already for this Texas defensive line. And line of scrimmage is really what's different about this Texas team from previous teams, both offensively and defensively.
And have a bunch of guys on that O-line drafted. The defensive line outstanding. Robertson tried to set up a screen, and it was snuffed out. And the pass was overthrown, intended for Richardson. David Benda, the leading tackler for Texas, was all over it, and he caught the ball. And another punt coming for the Bears.
Pete Kwiatkowski's defense is dialed in here tonight. Well read by David Benda. Was not getting fooled on the screen, right there in perfect position. And a quick possession, another punt here in the first quarter for Baylor.
Worthy is the deep man. Homer Williams got that one away. Angled toward the Texas sideline and kicks over there at about the 46-yard line, so not a good punt. Only about 30 yards, no return. Texas will have the ball near midfield, and we come back.
Okay. If not, I can tell.
Want to see where your team stands? Just tell Siri, show me the college football rankings.
Welcome back to Waco. Let's take a look at this week's college football rankings, brought to you by Prudential. Great game to kick off the day on ABC, with Florida State in overtime winning at Clemson. Notre Dame and Ohio State just underway. Later tonight on ESPN to get Washington, California. Colorado, wow, coming down to earth with getting hammered in Eugene.
Well, how about that pregame speech we saw from Dan Lanning? They were not messing around in Eugene today.
Sawyer Robertson talking with injured quarterback Blake Shapen as Texas is on the field near midfield for the 2nd time already to start this ball game. And Ewers wide open at the 40-yard line. It's caught by Worthy, wrestled out of bounds, and driven to the ground after a gain of 15. That's the 17th grab already for Worthy this season.
Play action, good protection, plenty of time for Quinn Ewers to survey the field. I love the route by Xavier Worth. You got to respect his speed, so you got to play off of him. Shuts it down and works the comeback. Easy pitch and catch.
Had a terrific season last year, but found out after the season he played 6 games with a broken hand. Brooks running right, breaks a tackle, has the corner at the 30, at the 20, inside the 10, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Texas. Jonathon Brooks with a 40-yard sprint past Baylor defenders to Pater.
Well, you're going to see everything work down. You're going to see another block come inside. They wash everything down, and it's good vision, nice bounce. And Jonathon Brooks showing some speed as he hits the sidelines and rolls into the end zone. Big touchdown run for Jonathon Brooks, who continues on this tear. 4th quarter against Bama, the entirety of Wyoming, he's been outstanding.
And Auburn has now made 71 consecutive extra points. 7-0 Texas, 5:15 to go in the first.
Well, it's hot in Texas, and so is running back Jonathon Brooks. Excellent blocking off the edge, and Brooks heels to the field as he takes it to the house. Horns on top early, 7-0.
Welcome back to Saturday Night Football, presented by Capital One. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak in the booth, Tom Luginbill down on the field. 7-0 Texas after a great run by Brooks. And now Baylor will have the ball for the 3rd time, starting on its 25.
Only 2 possessions, and the star so far has been this Texas defensive front. Already 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss. Chet Bush got it started coming off the edge. The tight end coming across couldn't get to him. Byron Murphy's been a one-man wrecking crew. And then also getting on the action, one of the backup defensive linemen, Vernon Broughton. There's been a lot of pressure, only 9 plays. 4 of those have been negative plays for this Baylor offense. They're going to have to find a way to run the football and be able to handle and deal with the front of this Texas defense.
They're going to stick with Sawyer Robertson at quarterback. Again, Blake Shapeman, the starter, injured week 1, 3rd straight game that he's missed. See if Baylor can get something going with the running attack. Maybe not. Ethan Burke in there first on Dominic Richardson. Another tackle for a loss. Setback of 4 yards.
That's big. Tavondre Sweat feels like he's been here forever. Man, big hit. Blake Shapen. This is what this Baylor offense is missing. As a freshman, walked in, led them to a Big 12 championship, started the entire season last year, and I thought he played one of his better games of his career in the opener against Texas State. Got banged up. We haven't seen him since, and hopefully he gets healthy as soon as possible.
2nd and 13. Robertson taking a shot, got single coverage and has a man, and puts it on the money to Keytron Jackson. That's the big play the Baylor Bears needed. Gain of 33 to the Texas 39-yard line. Jackson, the Arkansas transfer, got a step on the DB.
But he finally got some time. Good pocket for him to step up. And this is really what he does best. Whether Sawyer Robertson is on the move or the touch on the deep ball, hits several deep shots against Utah. They've got to find a way to get Keytron Jackson, the Arkansas transfer, involved. Timely and big downfield reception right there.
Maybe that'll help, too, the confidence of Robertson. Again, very gifted high school player, Texas State Player of the Year 3 years ago. Here comes a double pass. And nothing was open downfield, so Jordan Neighbors takes off instead of trying to throw it and picks up about 5 yards running it.
Smart decision by Neighbors. It was well defended down the field. Tried to slip a tight end out, but he was covered. Tuck the football, get what you can on first down, set up second manageable.
Dusty, it's so hard for those guys, too, because you coach them up and you tell them if it's covered, just tuck it. And invariably, they almost always throw it, and it becomes a turnover. Really heady play there.
Yeah. Going with a little trickery after that big play. Again, 5-yard pickup, so they're at the 34-yard line of Texas. Robertson of the year again. Late pressure, he got drilled, and the pass is overthrown. A lot of contact and a flag. Josh Cameron being defended by Michael Taff, who was all over him inside the 5-yard line.
Pass interference, number 16, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Robertson drilled as he throws that pass. The true freshman Anthony Hill gets there, but down the field, a lot of pushing and shoving. That ball, kind of surprised, looked like it was uncatchable. Ball was well over his head, but there was definitely some contact down the field.
Was it uncatchable because of the contact? The officials made that assumption.
Correct.
And the flag, so that puts the ball at the 19. And a penalty flag down. Baylor was trying to call a timeout. The play clock winding down. Derek Anderson, our referee. This Big 12 opener for both teams.
Prior to the play clock expiring, timeout, Baylor. It's their first of the half.
Obviously hate to waste the
30-second timeout.
Given how this drive was going, smart to call the timeout there and avoid the 5-yard penalty. Well, the next stop on the F1 schedule is the Japanese Grand Prix tonight, 1 a.m. Eastern, 10 Pacific on ESPN2 and the app. And then tomorrow's Sunday night baseball matchup, the Giants and Dodgers, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. Great time of year. Baseball playoffs around the corner. Obviously now October and conference action in college football is here. October a week away. NFL in full swing. NBA, NHL season's about to get started.
And the fall cool weather just around the corner. Don't forget about that as well.
Hopefully, man, it's over 100 here. So first down after the timeout. Robertson from the pocket trying to set up a screen, just grounds it. Again, Texas reading that. Neighbors was the intended target. Smart play, though, by Robertson there.
Ethan Burke all over it. He smelled something, felt it. That offensive line just trying to influence him, let him go, put the brakes on right there for the intended target, and a smart play by Sawyer Robertson just to throw it in the dirt.
Got to have that red zone awareness, right?
Yeah.
Don't take yourself out of getting points here.
Baylor has lost 6 straight games against ranked teams. 2 years ago, they had 3 wins against top 8 teams. Last time they beat a team ranked in the top 3 back in 2012, Kansas State was #1 in the country. Robertson escaping and going to take off inside the 15 and out of bounds at the 10-yard line. He got around true freshman Anthony Hill. We talked about Robertson being a good athlete. That's a gain of 10, and it's 1st and goal.
Ethan Burke comes, gets good pressure off the edge. Love the feel, stepping up in the pocket and just try to get to the perimeter. A little head shake on Anthony Hill Jr. And an excellent pickup, set up 1st and goal. Big time play by Sawyer Robertson.
From the Texas 9, 2.5 minutes remaining here in the opening quarter with the Longhorns leading 7-0. Richardson wrapped up by Ford and spilled at the 6-yard line. Jalen Ford, who's become more of a vocal presence on that Texas defense, in part because his mentor Derek Johnson, a great player at Texas, College Football Hall of Famer, has really been working with him. Ford has a bright future in football.
Well, he's an excellent player, very productive, both in coverage, tackling, and 4 interceptions a year ago. Already won early on the season. Really affects this defense in a multitude of ways.
Pendergrass in the backfield with the quarterback Robertson on 2nd down and goal. A design run here for Robertson, and he just ran out of space. Ryan Watts on the tackle. No gain. 3rd down and goal.
Again, we see Sawyer Robertson, Jeff Grimes trying to get him on the perimeter. Utilize his mobility, well defended by Texas. Big 3rd down coming for Baylor. It was like a game where field goals aren't going to do you as much good. You need 6 against this Texas offense.
They did give him a yard, stuck the ball out as he crossed the boundary. 3rd and goal. They put Robertson under center. It's play action. Robertson. Flag down. Robertson in trouble. Takes off. Takes a shot by Tapp at the 5-yard line. See what the penalty's about. Thrown in the area of holding. And if it's on Baylor, you would imagine Texas would decline that.
Holding, number 87, offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
And so Baylor will settle for a field goal attempt, which this early in the game, on 4th and goal from the 5, you got to do it.
Yeah, I understand the field goal from here. And once again, boot action, get Sawyer Robertson outside the pocket, well defended by Texas. He wanted to find Dominique Richardson out of the backfield. Nowhere for him to go with the football.
Isaiah Hankins puts Baylor on the board. So a big play to start that drive, and the Texas defense holds, but the Bears do get points, and it's 7-3. Longhorns late here in the 1st.
Easily be a confidence-building drive for Sawyer Robertson, Tom. Hits the big shot down the field, also making some plays with his legs. I think that could really pay dividends throughout this 1st half.
Well, you look at what Texas has done since Steve Sarkisian took over. 5-7 after that great start 2 years ago, 4-0. Much better last year, and now ranked 3rd in the country, highest since 2009. That's the last time they won the Big 12 title. They made it to the conference championship game in 2018, but lost to Oklahoma. You lose Bijan Robinson, who already is having a big impact in the NFL with the Atlanta Falcons, but you can see the recruiting and the depth already at that running back position. C.J. Baxter, we haven't seen yet. Imagine we'll see him at some point. Terrific true freshman. Did not play last week because of injury.
And with Sark's teams, they've just gotten better and better. The roster's gotten better. The culture's gotten better. And, you know, obviously going into Tuscaloosa and winning by double digits never happened since Saban's been the head coach at Bama. But that was just, you know, really just a benchmark of where this Texas team is and what they could be when they're at their best.
And the ball is on the ground. It was muffed by Keelan Robinson, and he dives on it at the 12. But going back to your point on the culture, Sark told us, hey, I have to credit the guys we inherited, the veteran players that were here before our staff got here. They've led the way to shaping the culture and getting Texas back to this point where they're beating teams like Alabama on the road. And the Crimson Tide didn't look good last week, but they looked terrific today against Ole Miss and won that game by a couple of scores.
It's a really good mix of veteran players that have been excellent leaders, and then a lot of young, talented players is what comprises this Texas roster.
And Dusty, the inherited players all bought in, and that's why they're contributing, because they believe in the new regime's focus and plan for the future.
Here's C.J. Baxter getting a touch, his first of the game, and he's able to slip a tackle out of bounds around the 17-yard line. That's his 17th carry. He started the year as the starter, the first true freshman running back to start for Texas since Ricky Williams back in 1995. It tells you a lot about what they think of C.J. Baxter.
He's got size. He's physically imposing. Excellent burst. A special talent in that Longhorns backfield.
Yeah, they say he stepped out at the 16, so second down and 6. Ewers downfield, got a receiver open, caught at the 32-yard line for a first down by Adonai Mitchell, his 10th catch of the season. Transfer from Georgia.
Offensive line like a brick wall there protecting Quinn Ewers. Brought it out of pressure. No one got to Ewers.
Quick snap. They go back to the ground, and Brooks bottled up after a gain of maybe 2 or 3. Matt Jones, who's the leading tackler, made the stop, a player that the coaches want more out of. He's one of the leaders on this team, 5th-year senior. And that'll end the first quarter. Texas got a big play from Jonathon Brooks, a 40-yard touchdown run. Good response by Baylor to march down the field and get 3 points. 7-3 Texas. Back after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. All season long, student sections across the country are competing to be the Taco Bell Live Más Student Section of the Year. Download the Taco Bell app to learn more. Great student section here at Baylor. Give them a lot of credit because that sun was pounding on them for about 2-3 hours before the game. They were all here, and it was about 145 degrees down there on the field and in the stands. Run play here. Baxter got shaken up on his first carry of the game. Called to come out and is now back out there on 2nd and 7. Gets about 3 yards.
Checks out once again. Jonathon Brooks comes in already with the score in this first quarter. Quinn Ewers has been flawless here so far. 6 of 6, spreading it around, 5 different targets. And with 3rd and 3, playbook wide open for Sark.
Ewers had only 11 completions for the entire game last week against Wyoming. Almost threw a couple picks in that game. Ewers with time, ball batted in the air, incomplete. Gabe Hall. Again, we mentioned how important he is to that Baylor defense. Coaches want this every play, him to come off the ball like this and make something happen.
And to see him working right here, and he's not going to get to the quarterback, so he's going to shut his rush down. He's 6'6", and he's got long arms. Get that big bear paw up, and he does. Showing some passion and emotion after knocking that ball down and getting his defense off the field.
So Ryan Sanborn on to punt. Josh Cameron, a former walk-on, earned a scholarship before last season, is deep. Baylor on alert here for a fake. Punt away. And it's short. And it lands at the 20, and it looked like it might hug the sideline, but it did hit on the chalk at the 24-yard line. So short punt of about 40 yards. And let's check in with Kevin in the studio.
Good evening, Dave. Time now for All-State Good Hands Player of the Day. Number 1, Georgia, already up 7-0. We talked about their soft start with the schedule, taking on UAB. Jacob Zeno to Bryce Davis. Trent Dilfer's team ties it up at 7 apiece. That game on ESPN2. Back to you, Dusty and Tom.
There have been some surprising scores today. Looking at LSU losing late first half at home to Arkansas after Arkansas got beat by BYU last week. Sawyer Robertson, play action pass, setting up and floating it downfield, complete to the 40-yard line. Out of bounds is Monterey Baldwin, one of the fastest players in the country. Gain of 23 yards.
I like the pocket presence here from Sawyer Robertson. Feels that pressure, slides away from it, and locates his open crosser. Monterey Baldwin, possibly the fastest player in all of college football. 22.8 last year miles per hour on the GPS. Nobody registered faster in the nation.
Boy, it feels like Sawyer Robertson, since that long pass play, it's looked like a different guy out there. Reese trying to get outside with so much speed for Texas. Jalen Ford tracks him down and dumps him for another negative play, a loss of about 3 or 4.
That's just outstanding. The entire front forcing Reese to continue to bounce, and Jalen Ford, really nice job. Open field tackle, creating the tackle for loss. He's just gotten better and better. Third team AP All-American, all Big 12. I thought he was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year a season ago, and he just continued to add to that here in his senior season.
Second down and 13. Baylor has been operating off schedule offensively for a good part of this game. Robertson's pass incomplete. Trying to hit Keytron Jackson. It'll be 3rd and long.
Pass just off target for Sawyer Robertson. Way off the mark. Keytron Jackson trying to come out of his break, and that ball well short and wide of his intended target. 3rd and long. Can they protect and hold up for the quarterback?
3rd career start for Robertson. Another penalty marker is down.
False start, number 79, offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Second penalty on Baylor. Well, they had another penalty that was declined. That's Alvin Abosale. Been starting at left tackle the last few games.
They've had 11 false starts coming into tonight. Their second here already. This Texas defense is talented enough. You can't gift them yards and work against yourself.
So now 3rd and 18. They'll go empty. Let's see if Texas comes after him. They're going to rush 3, and it's a short pass out in space, and it's dropped by Josh Cameron. Incomplete. 4th down.
After the nice throw to Monterey Baldwin, the first negative play on 1st down, then a couple of poor throws by Sawyer Robertson, going to end this drive abruptly. They cannot have negative plays and get themselves behind the chains. They're going to have to stay in front of the chains throughout the course of the evening.
Sawyer's got to slow himself down a little bit. He's just rushing these throws too quickly.
Here's the punt. It's a line drive. Fielding it at the 15-yard line is Worthy. And it just steps out of play. That was well covered by Baylor. So Texas ball when we come back, but the Longhorns still leading by 4. Kick off your Sunday with NFL Countdown at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. A look at how Falcons rookie running back and former Texas great Bijan Robinson got his start. And then we have 2 Monday Night Football games again. Eagles and Buccaneers, 7 Eastern on ABC and ESPN+. And then the Rams and the Bengals, 8 Eastern on ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPN Deportes. Dave Pasch, Dusty Voracek, Tom Luginbill here in Waco. Quinn Ewers, 6 of 7 passing, only about 6 yards per attempt.
Hasn't pushed the ball down the field yet. We'll see if they do here.
In trouble on 1st down and sacked. He never saw Mike Smith Jr. A loss on the play of 7.
Defensive coordinator Matt Powledge was talking about his linebacker a lot. Mike Smith, a Liberty transfer, brings him off the edge. Nobody accounts for him, and a big sack on 1st down. It's been all over the field for this Baylor defense here this season. Downhill, an excellent blitzer, and a big play on 1st down.
It's his 3rd sack in just 2 weeks.
He's been playing great.
You mentioned him at Liberty last year. Prior to that, 3 years of junior college. Empty set for Ewers on second and long. Wide open across the middle of the field is Adonai Mitchell, and he has a first down. So they lose 7, but they get everything back and more. A gain of 17 on that play.
Boy, what an addition Adonai Mitchell has been. Such a well-rounded receiver. You see the strength and ability after the catch to pick up the first down.
Ewers now 7 of 8. Play fake. Ewers setting up and dumping it off to Whittington out in space. Got the first down. They mark him out of bounds at the 49. That's a 14-yard gain for Jordan Whittington. Fifth-year senior, has had 3 injury play seasons when he's been available. A really good player for UT.
And Steve Sarkisian, such a good play caller, play designer, puts Whittington in the backfield almost as a fullback, sneaks out on the play action, easy first down.
Ewers gets rid of it quickly to Sanders, and there was a defender in the area as Sanders gets belted out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Smith with the hit.
And again, you see Sanders coming across the formation. Good blocking by Xavier Worthy. Little hurdle by Sanders before he goes out of bounds.
There may not be a bigger mismatch problem in college football than Sanders. And it doesn't matter where you line him up or what personnel you're in on defense. You're at a disadvantage.
And they scheme him up so well, Tom. I totally agree.
Set the Texas tight end record for catches last year with 54. And a run Brooks here. Makes a sweet move in the hole. Dives down to the 35 for a gain of 6. Back to your point on Sanders. Kind of fits the modern tight end, right? Different things that they like to do with him.
Absolutely. They move him all over the field. He'll line all over, ball skills. And he's actually really improved as a blocker, too.
Mackey Award finalist a year ago. Run it again here, and they get the first down with Brooks. Crossing the 30. A nice drive here by Texas. 10-minute mark. Second quarter, leading 7-3.
Jonathon Brooks, he can be that hammer. Lower the shoulder. Get those hard, tough yards, moving the chains.
Play 7 of this drive. Brooks, another time. Wrapped up out in space at the 29. That was a nice tackle. Caden Jenkins, true freshman corner. The coaches raved about his potential in our meetings with them yesterday.
Well, he's got outstanding length, can really run, and saw him in the initial possession make a big tackle for loss. Really good tackle on the perimeter on a much bigger back in Jonathon Brooks.
So just a gain of 1. Second down and 9 with C.J. Baxter back on the field at running back. Ewers releases him, pumps that way, and out throws, and it's incomplete, nearly intercepted by Jeremy Evans. And that ball intended for C.J. Baxter. 3rd and 9. Ewers has done that a lot. No interceptions on the year, but there have been a lot of close calls.
Been close. It's an outstanding read by Jeremy Evans. Not fooled at all. And steps in front of that pass just off his fingertips to give Texas another opportunity on 3rd down. He wanted to bring some pressure. Said they really wanted to disguise pre-snap. Try to get Quinn Ewers uncomfortable and off his spot.
From an empty set. Ewers with pressure in his face. Escapes the pocket. Tucks to run. Across the 25. Has the first down. Stays in bounds and takes it all the way into the end zone. Quinn Ewers. A 29-yard rushing touchdown.
Pressure for Mike Smith. Smith's going to come here. And then the defensive end has got to keep contained. If you've got a pressure coming, 45, you've got to keep contained if you're Byron Vaughns. And how about the blocking down the field by Jatavion Sanders? Helps seal that edge as Quinn Ewers takes it to the end zone.
We'll see if they look at that. Hard to tell live if his left foot stepped out of bounds or if it was green all the way down that sideline. Seems like that's what everybody's kind of waiting for, but obviously every play is reviewed and no need for further review. It looks like he was in, so here's the extra point drive from Auburn. And Texas leads at 14-3. Ewers with a career-long rush of 29 yards. That was a 3rd and long.
We've been talking so much about Quinn Ewers as a passer. What about Quinn Ewers as a runner? 3rd and long, no problem. Quinn Ewers finds Pater. The Horns up.
SEC college football is brought to you by Allstate and the Allstate AFCA Good Works team, recognizing the athletes for their charitable work. Visit ESPN.com/Allstate to learn more.
That was senior day at Texas last year when Baylor and the Longhorns met. Bijan Robinson had just under 180 yards and 2 touchdowns in this game. The last Big 12 season opener for Texas, off to the SEC next year. This will be a touchback. 14-3, the Longhorns lead the Bears.
One of the keys to this game for Baylor was to get their zone rushing attack going. What kills the zone run? Penetration. And it's been chock full for this Texas defense. Byron Murphy getting up the field, creating negative plays. Devondre Sweat, that zone scheme, gets in the crack up the field. Nowhere for Baylor backs to go. 6 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, -2 rushing yards so far for this Baylor rushing attack.
Pendergrass in the game. We haven't really seen him much in this one. He had over 100 rushing yards last week, granted against an inferior opponent. And the coaching staff sticking with Sawyer Robertson at quarterback. We're going to move him outside the pocket. He throws really well on the run. That one was on the money but dropped. Monterey Baldwin would have been a good game. 7 or 8 at least. Another mistake by Baylor.
Got to catch that football if you're Monterey Baldwin. We talked about the speed earlier. That's an easy throw and catch. And wide receiver, as he pats himself on the chest, lets it go.
That's been the issue with him. For as well as he can run, he does not consistently catch the football.
Second and 10. A little trouble there with the exchange. It was a high handoff to Richardson. It's maybe 2 or 3. Barron Sorrell, who's been playing good football for Texas, with the stop, bringing up 3rd down and long.
Not where Baylor wants to be. We've talked about this a lot. Protection's been an issue. 3rd and long, a place that they wanted to be out of throughout the course of the night. Here they find themselves in it once again.
On 3rd down and 7, Baylor content to run the ball with Richardson. He gets tattooed at the 30-yard line. Jalen Catalog came in there and absolutely leveled him. Just a 2-yard pickup. Baylor will punt.
They try to run it to the boundary, just a little toss. And the free safety, watch this, coming downhill. The Arkansas transfer says not today. Excellent job coming downhill and stoning Richard Reese right in the hole.
Palmer Williams on to punt again. Worthy is deep. And it takes a big Baylor bounce. Worthy scooping it up, making the first man miss. He's got room across the 40 in the Baylor territory, and maybe a touchdown-saving tackle around the 40-yard line. Devin Bobby for Baylor after a 36-yard return by Worthy. Texas in business when we come back.
Well, this Texas offense, we talked about the weapons from the onset. Jatavion Sanders, and I love the blocking on the perimeter by Jordan Whittington, by Adonai Mitchell, Xavier Worthy. How about the route here by Xavier Worthy? Work it back to the quarterback. You got to respect the speed. So explosive. And just a post-cross concept as Adonai Mitchell comes open, pass perfectly placed. The weapons have been on display early here in Waco.
And you talked about where they positioned Jatavion Sanders. They had him lined up at running back. Now they shift him back tight to the line on the left side. And this may be a double pass. Worthy setting up, and he's got Sanders downfield. Sanders catches up to it, makes the grab inside the 10. 1st and goal, Texas, 35 yards.
And this is nothing new. Sark loves to utilize Xavier Worthy and the double pass game. Nobody over the top. Wide open Sanders. I like how much air Worthy puts on that football to allow his big talented tight end to run underneath it. Perfectly executed play by the Horns.
Have to feel like a touchdown. The way this game has gone might be too much for Baylor to overcome. Walking in is C.J. Baxter for his first collegiate touchdown. 40-yard touchdown run, 29-yard touchdown run, big pass play to start this drive, capped by a 7-yard run from C.J. Baxter.
Well, it's man-to-man coverage, so the motion's going to run the corner off, and a nice block by Kelvin Banks to set that edge, and C.J. Baxter walks into the end zone from the worthy return to the double pass to the walk-in touchdown. Too easy for the Horns there.
Auburn makes it 21-3. Texas. Longhorns with a couple of quick scores, and they lead by 18. Big 12 now on ESPN Plus. More than 500 live games, exclusive content, and original shows. 11 men's and women's sports are highlighted, and there's select conference tournament events. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com/Big 12. Last go around for the Longhorns in the Big 12. Off to the SEC next year. Texas has not won the league since 2009. Played for the national championship that year. Their last national title came in 2005. Lost to Alabama that year in 09. Touchback and come out to the 25. Let's check in with Kevin in the studio.
Boost Infinite halftime report just minutes away. Dave Booger McFarland, Kevin Nagandi here with you. We got Penn State in action. Notre Dame, Ohio State, just the 3-0 game at the half. Highlights coming your way. LSU trailing as well. Meanwhile, Deion speaking after losing 42-6, the statement from Oregon.
Yeah, we came into this game with questions about Colorado's offensive line and Colorado's defensive line. They didn't answer any of those questions today.
Highlights coming away. Dan Lanning not holding back. Deion responding to that. You're going to hear it coming up. Back to you.
Keep going, Horns. Keep it going. All right, first down for Baylor on its 25-yard line. They're sticking with Sawyer Robertson. He's going to throw on first down, lobbing it downfield, overthrown and incomplete. I want to go back to Kevin teasing Deion Sanders and his conversation at halftime. It feels like everybody is shocked at the outcome today. Oregon was favored by 3 touchdowns. Help me here.
I'm not shocked. I mean, look, Oregon's a really good team. They've got great speed, good on both sides of the football. Dan Lanning this week felt very confident. You could tell Deion Sanders knew they're taking it up a level in competition. So I can't say that I was overly surprised by what we saw, Dave.
Robertson in trouble, escapes, being chased, and hit as he throws, incomplete. David Benda. Again, the speed of Texas on the perimeter with the linebacker getting there and forcing an errant throw. Robertson's been battling an ankle injury. He's hobbling right now.
David Benda's kind of energizer bunny for the defense. Great speed, sideline to sideline, and mentioned it a couple of times. Sawyer Robertson banged up against Utah. Clearly doesn't seem to be at full speed here tonight.
Texas will rush just 3. Robertson's pass across the middle is caught by Keytron Jackson, and he's able to get a much-needed first down out to the 38-yard line. Feels like the first time in a month that Baylor's been able to move the sticks.
With Jonah Burton, very smart, just kind of bodies in front of the defenders to help allow Keytron Jackson to get to the perimeter. And I look at what you said, a much-needed first down for this Baylor offense.
Third catch of the day for Jackson, now 13 on the season. He's from Texas, went to Arkansas, then transferred back to the state to play for Baylor. So first down on the 38. Play action pass. Robertson setting up, looking deep. Everybody covered. Robertson on the run. And steps out of play with Benda bearing down on him at the 40-yard line. Gain of a couple. You see Robertson hobbling.
Smart play, though, Tom. He wanted to go down the field. Nobody was there. Pick up a 2 or 3. I think that's a smart play there by Robertson.
Yeah, have some awareness. Don't put your team at a detriment offensively. They've already had enough getting behind the chains here in the first half. But I'll tell you what, this team speed for Texas overall is impressive.
Saw it again on that play with Benda running down the quarterback. 2nd and 8. Straight ahead. Richardson out to the 43. Pick up a 3 there. Tripped up by Jet Bush. So third down and about 4 here as we near the 5-minute mark of the first half.
And we've talked a lot about this Texas front and Baylor's inability to get the running game going. They need to get Dominic Richardson going. throughout the course of this game. The transfer from Oklahoma State. He's got excellent physicality, one cut downhill, perfect for the zone scheme.
Well, he hobbled off and did not play last week because of injury. 3rd down and 5. And it's Pendergrass up the gut. Comes up short. You would imagine Baylor will go for it on 4th down and 2. Anthony Hill on the stop. Baylor keeping the offense on the field.
You know, Baylor's second in the country a season ago in converted 4th downs. Dave Aranda not afraid whatsoever to roll the dice and go for it. He's there to keep this on the ground. Maybe give Sawyer Robertson the opportunity to try to run and get on the perimeter. Multiple tight ends into the boundary up top.
4th down and 2. Just a straight handoff to Pendergrass, and he gets driven to the ground short of the line to gain. Tavondre Sweat and Byron Murphy on that defensive line for Texas, just too much.
Well, they try to run behind their multiple tight end set and nowhere to go. Watch Tavondre Sweat inside, getting that penetration, fighting off the block, and getting a big tackle and his defense off the field.
Interesting, Dusty, too. They decide to use Pendergrass instead of Dominic Richardson there.
Well, Richardson, as I mentioned, Tom, a couple of plays ago, hobbled off.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe not available there. Texas takes over. Went for the big play after the excellent punt return on the last drive.
Watch out for a big play, a shot here. Quick change.
That single coverage bottom of your screen. Instead, the ball going down the seam, and it's overthrown by Ewers. Sanders had 2 defenders on him. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Get that stop just on the other side of the 50. Perfect opportunity to take a shot down the field. Got the matchup they wanted with Jatavian Sanders. Passes a little bit too far in front of his intended target.
Dusty, you're right, though. They haven't taken a lot of shots downfield. We've seen a couple, but they really haven't taken any on the outside.
No, we haven't seen Xavier Worthy utilize that speed down the field yet.
Ewers, quick pass across the middle to the other tight end, Gunnar Helm. It's a well-thrown ball. Made that look easy. Gain of 16.
Play action. Linebackers up. Middle of the field wide open.
Here's Brooks on the run. Down to about the 26-yard line. Quinn Ewers, we touched on this in the open, just feels a lot different. We spoke with him yesterday for just a couple minutes, but he talked a lot about how he took things for granted last year. Realized what a blessing it was to play at Texas. Took football a lot more seriously, and that hard work has really paid off early in the season. Ewers on the run. A throwback to Brooks. Nice catch. First down inside the 20. Breaks a tackle. Keeps his feet all the way down to the 7-yard line. 18-yard gain. It'll be 1st and goal.
Boy, just kind of a boot action and screen to the backside. Outstanding one-handed grab by Jonathon Brooks. Contact balance, breaking tackles, getting inside the 10. What a start to this game for Jonathon Brooks on the ground and as a pass catcher.
Where's the fight from Baylor? We're used to seeing them, especially in a game that they feel is a rivalry game. Right. We're just not seeing that. Where's the spirit? First and goal from the 8, Ewers to the end zone. Worthy, incomplete, but a flag. Going to get an interference call here. Caden Jenkins.
Interference, number 19, defense. Foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic 1st down.
Going at a true freshman there. Jenkins has made some plays, but this time trying to defend the great Xavier Worthy.
Too much contact, Dave.
Didn't see the ball, right?
I never saw the ball. Contact on him. The initial push, I think, was okay, but then he left that right hand on his chest as the ball is being delivered. It's the right call. A mistake by the true freshman.
11 straight snaps for Texas in Baylor territory. They got Byron Murphy, who had a touchdown catch last week. Defensive lineman, he's out there blocking, and he leads the hole for Jonathon Brooks in for the touchdown. Brooks' 2nd of the game. They threw it to Murphy last week. They line him up, run it behind him this week. Dusty is a former defensive lineman. You've been smiling since you watched the film last week of that catch by Murphy, and then you see him block it.
I had dreams of being able to get in the backfield in goal line situations. Practice it sometimes, but never had the chance. Byron Murphy. We've talked about him a lot as a defensive lineman. Touchdown last week and an outstanding lead block, paving the way for Jonathon Brooks.
Was that drive you nuts? Bob Stutz is practicing it during the week. Yeah. You think you're going to get it and it doesn't happen?
Well, it did drive me nuts. I still think about it. I mean, geez, almost 20 years ago now, Dave.
4 rushing touchdowns for Texas, and they've blown this open.
With Byron Murphy, watch him just lead up right here, pave a hole for Jonathon Brooks. Really nice block as well by Kelvin Banks. We haven't talked enough about this offensive line. It has just been excellent. Kelvin Banks, one of the best offensive tackles in football. Run behind your big potential All-American offensive tackle. Allow your outstanding defensive tackle to lead up, and a walk-in touchdown to cap off the drive.
Dave, I think you make a good point, though. There is not a lot of fire from the men in green here tonight, and they are gassed, and they all stand up after the play and start to look at one another.
It's not what you're used to seeing from a Dave Aranda coach team. He was really happy with the way his team responded last week after the tough loss against Utah, a game that they were leading at halftime 13-3. But Texas feels like it's at a different level, and maybe even Utah this year. Touchback, it'll come out to the 25. Again, it's a question that I know Texas fans are tired of us at ESPN and ABC asking, but we're constantly wondering, okay, after a good start, the win over Alabama, has Texas returned to that college football mountaintop again really early here, week 4, but man, they've got a lot of talent, and they're playing together. There's a culture there that maybe has not been there previously.
Yeah, I mean, the talent, I mean, it jumps off the tape, but really the line of scrimmage, right? The defensive line been so dominant here tonight. The offensive line protecting for Quinn Ewers, opening up holes in the running game, and the weapons are plentiful for Steve Sarkisian to mix around. It's a well-balanced football team that really played an outstanding first half here tonight.
Quick throw out in space. Not much there for Hal Presley. Again, the speed of Texas. That's Benda. Man, how many times we called his name in this game? Keaton Crawford there, too, for the Longhorns as we near the 2-minute mark here in the first half with Texas leading 28-3.
Team speed. Talked about a lot here tonight. David Bennett, what I love, senior, recognized my last opportunity, last chance, put in a ton of work in the offseason, and boy, is it paying dividends.
Robertson from the pocket in trouble. On the move, fakes out Jalen Ford and heads for the sideline. The other thing, too, with Texas, you've got the win in your pocket at Alabama. You're in a league that, while Oklahoma seems improved, there's teams that we're used to seeing, like TCU and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State looks down. Now, TCU obviously losing to Colorado week 1 after going to the national title game last year. Iowa State down 2. Kansas State has a loss already.
Oh, it feels like this year the Big 12 is Texas for the taking. And boy, it's hard to argue based off the start they've had to the season, the start they have here tonight to kick off Big 12 play.
Although next week could be really interesting, assuming they win this. You got Kansas unbeaten in Austin.
That offense is legit.
That game will be on ABC next week. Sideline throw, a lot of contact over there. No flag, though. It was intended for the tight end Dabney. And Derek Williams in coverage. And another punt coming, and Texas going to get the ball back. 1:43. The way this offense is operated here in the second quarter, that's enough time for them to get more points as Robertson again hobbles to the Baylor sideline.
I don't know if it changes much, but you really have to wonder, do we see R.J. Martinez? We talked to the staff yesterday, and they said if the offense doesn't get going, yeah, you're going to probably see him. They've not seen him yet so far in this offense. Boy, is it trouble.
That punt nearly blocked. That's drilled, and Worthy throws up the hand off the punt. And Baylor jumps on it at the 21-yard line. And it's the coach's son, Garrison Grimes, the long snapper, running down there. His dad, Jeff, is the offensive coordinator. And he covers the muff punt to give Baylor the football around the 20.
Well, Baylor just needed something good, something positive to happen. And the miscue by Xavier Worthy, Baylor able to cash in, jump on the football. Got to find a way to capitalize and get this ball in the end zone. Could be that potential spark they need before they go into halftime.
And that's been the one knock on Worthy. Yeah, drops, whether it's receptions or punts. And they're going to stick with Sawyer Robertson again. Kind of wondered going back to that long throw by Robertson when he made that pass. If the coaching staff said, you know, we're going to stick with him rather than go to Martinez. He's played the entire first half. They need a touchdown here. Try to get some momentum going into the second half. A dump off here to Dabney, the tight end, and he is driven down by Jalen Ford after a 2-yard pickup.
Excellent coverage by Jalen Ford. Stuck with Dabney the entire way. Dabney, a good pass-catching tight end for this Bears team. A good long speed, but nowhere to get that speed going. Catch tackle on first down.
I think they're going to wait until they get in the locker room to make that quarterback decision, though, Dave.
Maybe we'll see. At that point, will it matter? A minute to go. Second down and 8. Robertson to the end zone and nearly intercepted. The only man that had a chance at that was Ryan Watts. Etron Jackson, the intended receiver. So now it's third down and 8.
Really never gave him much of a chance on that, Tom. Got to at least give your receiver an opportunity to make a play on the ball.
Yeah, especially when it's your biggest target, too, out there where you have a couple of advantages. I know Ryan Watts is a tall corner, but give him a shot for the 50-50.
Now let's see how Jeff Grimes calls this. We got a 25-point deficit, so field goals probably don't help much the way that Texas has been gashing the Baylor defense. Robertson in trouble, steps up, throws into the end zone, incomplete. Tried to hit Ketron Jackson. Look, maybe Robertson could have run, but Jackson was open. He just missed him.
It's a nice job stepping up in the pocket. Pressure right in his face. He's got an open target, just too high. And Baylor going to settle for a field goal here.
4th and 8. I mean, chances of converting on 4th and 8 probably not good, but yeah, I'm with you. I'm not sure the 3 points really help much. And when you've given up defensively in this first half, 256 yards and a bunch of big plays, but they'll take it. Maybe that'll give them a little momentum. 28-6 now after the 36-yard field goal.
They should cut it to a 3-score game, but man, you were gifted quality field position after that muff punt, and you really can't muster up anything other than 2 yards.
It's another credit to the growth and maturity of Texas too, right? Something bad happens, and you're able to quickly react and get a stop, which has not always been the case.
No. That's exactly right.
Well, you look so far, Robertson only -1 rushing yard, obviously all the sacks. Quinn Ewers has a rushing touchdown. And last week, Ewers was not great throwing the ball. 11 of 21 against Wyoming. He's 11 of 14 in the first half.
He's been much more crisp, but now he was off last week against Wyoming. Stark kind of told us the entire team was until the fourth quarter, and they run away with the game, outscoring Wyoming 21-0, which is another part of this Texas team. They have finished games both at Tuscaloosa and a week ago much better than the previous 2 years under Sark.
Texas will have 44 seconds to work with and 3 timeouts. Tomorrow's Sunday night baseball matchup. Series finale, Giants and Dodgers, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. Coverage begins 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific with baseball tonight. I'll see Texas now with 44 seconds if they are content to go in the locker room with a 22-point lead, or if they look for more here. Quinn Ewers, 20 years old, and started out Ohio State, didn't get a chance to play. They're reclassified so that he could go play early for the Buckeyes. Didn't work out, transferred back to Texas. He grew up in Southlake. Throws to the sideline here. It's caught by Sanders and out of bounds. That was the other thing Sark said. One of the reasons he's grown up is because he went through a lot the last couple of years, and everybody made a big deal about cutting the hair, but that was more of a symbol than anything else, that he was changing his ways and lost a lot of weight, changed his diet, dropped about 20 pounds.
Yeah, he said, he really just learned the value of who he was. And boy, he has grown as a leader. Talked with Jalen Ford yesterday. This team, they're all in behind their quarterback.
Going down to try to grab that was Mitchell. As Ewers had to drop his arm angle there. Incomplete, third down.
Dusty, you know what I like about Quinn Ewers this year that we haven't seen in the past is some emotion, some of fire. We've seen him between the third and the fourth quarter, both against Alabama, against Wyoming a week ago, actually show some competitive temperament that he hasn't shown before. And Sark told us, he goes, I actually think that's who this kid really is. Just for some reason, he's just starting to find it out now.
See what he does here on third down and 6. Texas 2 of 4 on third down, 35 seconds to go. Ewers stepping up, gets hit, planted. Matt Jones gets him down. And Baylor will call a timeout. 26 seconds remaining. Jones jawing a little bit with some of the Texas offensive linemen. Probably not the time to be talking.
Timeout, Baylor. This is their second of the half. This is a 30-second timeout. Game clock operator.
Jones a big boy. He's all every bit of 6'3", 250. Fifth-year senior linebacker. Played a lot of football here at Baylor. Understands it's his last opportunity at Texas. I understand what you're saying. Down 22 at halftime, and you haven't performed very well, but good stop there on third down. See if Baylor can make the most out of this final 30 seconds.
Texas next week, as we mentioned, is Kansas. That game is on ABC, and then Oklahoma the following week on ABC as well. Final meeting between Texas and Baylor, 113 all-time. First meeting was in 1901. They met as Southwestern Conference foes back in 1916 for many years. Good punt. Cameron makes the fair catch around the 25. 49-yard boot.
Mentioned that Oklahoma-Texas game where they had a tough matchup at Cincinnati today. Oklahoma did. That defense looks much improved, Dave. We watched that game together amongst many others. But that is shaping up to be a heck of a matchup there in Dallas in a couple of weeks.
You feel like Oklahoma's back? We keep asking if Texas is back. Too early to say at this point?
I think it's too early to say. They look like a much improved team, especially defensively. It's a good Cincinnati defense. Gave their offense some troubles, but nice road win and a good 4-0 start for Coach Venables in year 2.
First down for Baylor. One timeout left for the Bears. Robertson going to work. And it's dropped. Keytron Jackson. That's the third drop by Baylor wideouts.
That ball's right on his hands, in stride. A lot of grass out in front. Texas just sitting back, playing zone coverage. We're talking about getting the football into the hands of the playmakers of Baylor. These playmakers got to help out their quarterback.
Dominic Richardson appears to be all right. He's back on the field. Both he and the quarterback, Robertson, fight through injuries here. Late in the first half, 18 seconds left. Robertson throwing it toward the sideline. And it was caught by Dabney stepping out to stop the clock with 13 seconds remaining. Third down and about 4. Texas has a couple of safeties about 20 yards downfield.
Intrigued to see if they try to just push the ball down the field just to see if they can come up with some type of explosive play. Why not?
Robertson just a short throw to complete it. And Richardson is ripped down. The clock will stop to move the chains. Plus Dave Aranda going to call his last time out of the half with 7 seconds to go.
Timeout, Baylor. It's their final timeout of the half. This is a 30-second timeout.
When you think about the success they had 2 years ago here at Baylor, they had 3 wins over teams in the top 8. And so everybody assumed last year that it was going to be a repeat. And things didn't go well. 6-7 record. Now they're starting quarterback Blake Shapen gets hurt week 1. And now barring a miracle comeback, you're staring at 1-3. As you get just, again, we talked about the Big 12 maybe At the top, it's questionable how many great teams there are, but you just touched on Cincinnati, better than people thought. BYU maybe better than people thought.
BYU with an excellent win in Fayetteville a week ago. They gave Kansas a real fight in Lawrence today. It's not going to be a cakewalk for anybody, but it does feel like at the top of the league, there's some separation.
7 seconds to go, no timeouts left. Robertson just with a short throw to Pendergrass. Tackled inbounds. Baylor never even challenging, throwing the ball down the field there on that last possession. So Texas with some explosive plays in the run game in that first half. They lead 28-6 at halftime over Baylor here in Waco. Coming up after the break, the Boost Infinite Halftime Report with Kevin Agandi and Booger McFarland.
Finish it off, boys.
Welcome back to Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One. From McLean Stadium in Waco, you're watching the Big 12 Conference on ESPN. It is all Texas as we get ready for the third quarter. The third-ranked Longhorns, their highest AP ranking in 14 seasons, and they look like a top 3 team right now. 28-6 over the Bears, and Texas will get the ball to start the second half as well. Jack Stone will kick it deep. Keelan Robinson is the return man. And a little squib kick, but picked up at the 22-yard line by Whittington. And down he goes at the 25. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, Tom Luginbill. The Baylor coaches told us in our meeting with them yesterday that when they watched the front for Texas, that D-line, in their words, was an Alabama defensive line. And boy, did they look like it the way they kept Baylor in check in that first half.
They played great. I mean, penetration, 6 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 17 plays of 0 or negative yards in that first half. They were dominant, as was the offense. Really, both sides of the football, I thought it was complimentary football from Texas. Ran it effectively. Quinn Ewers was extremely efficient throwing the football. Really tough to poke any holes in what we saw from this Texas team in the first half.
On pace for 500 yards and on pace for giving up about 250, to your point about good complimentary football. Trying to get the edge as Brooks pushed out around the 29 or 30. Here's Tom.
Well, talking to Steve Sarkisian coming out of the locker room, he used the term intentional execution in all 3 phases. Says, I don't care if we're up by 4 touchdowns or 4 points. I want to see the details in the execution that shows how mature we are. Going off the field into the locker room, I asked Dave Aranda point blank, will you be making a change at quarterback? He said, we're going to talk about it right now. I would expect to see R.J. Martinez.
Rough first half for the Baylor offense in general, but specifically Sawyer Robertson. Ewers downfield. What a grab, one hand. Jonathon Sanders is loose. Stiff arming at the 25. And finally, they get him out of bounds. He said, get off me to Devin Lemire as part of that 50-yard catch and run.
Well, he's working on 7 Bryson Jackson. And Bryson Jackson has been suspect in coverages here. How about the skills? One hand, no problem. Who needs 2? And we talked about Jonathon Sanders after the catch. He's been so good. Man, glue on that glove, Mr. Pasch. Excellent concentration and catch.
He had no catches last week. This week, 5 for 110 yards. And one of those catches on a pass thrown by Xavier Worthy. A rare negative play for Texas. Brooks wrapped up by Matt Jones behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of 1.
Matt Jones had a nice sack late in the first half to get Baylor off the field. Nice job playing on the other side of the ball. Any negative plays, exactly what Baylor needs at this point.
Quinn Ewers in the first half, 12 of 16. No touchdowns, no interceptions, 1 for 1 this half. Here's Brooks, and finishing the run through the arms of Mike Smith. Down to the 19-yard line, second straight start for Brooks, a sophomore. 164 yards in the win over Wyoming last week.
Just waited his turn, was behind Bijan, was behind Roschon. Every time they got an opportunity, made the most of it, much like he's done so far here these last 3 games.
51 carries the last 2 years combined, and he's got well over that already this season. 3rd and 8 for Texas at the 19. Ewers to the end zone, overthrown, trying to hit Sanders. Good coverage that time by Baylor, and so Bert Auburn will come into the game for his first field goal attempt.
A good job by Mike Smith, linebacker. Sees that vertical seam route from Jatavion Sanders, identifies it, picks it up, and the pass sails high from Quinn Ewers.
Be a 37-yard attempt for Auburn, who's 6 of 8 on the year. And he nails that one. So it's 31-6 early in the third quarter in Waco. Time for tonight's athletic trivia question. Including tonight, Texas has played Baylor 113 times in program history. Likely the last meeting with the Longhorns off to the SEC. It is Texas's third most common opponent. Which two teams has Texas played more than Baylor?
I know the answer.
But one of the two of you played in a lot of the games.
Say Oklahoma would be one.
Is Arkansas the other one?
No, come on, Tom. It's Texas A&M, a rivalry that will be rekindled next year.
All right, let's answer the Aflac trivia question. We're really throwing fastballs with these. You were correct, sir. The answer to the question about what two teams Texas has played more often than Baylor? Oklahoma and Texas A&M 118 times each. It's going to be 119 with Oklahoma and then beyond because they're both going to the SEC, and Texas and Texas A&M will rekindle that rivalry in the SEC as well. New quarterback at some point we think for Baylor, but not right now. Sawyer Robertson staying in the game here on first down for the Bear 25. And a good run out to the 30-yard line as they bring Jordan Neighbors into the backfield and pitch it to him for 6 yards.
I know that Oklahoma and Texas leaving the Big 12, it's going to take away some rivalries. Bedlam, this one here. But, boy, it's going to rekindle that rivalry with Texas A&M for Texas. And that's going to be great to see. Next year, first year, they'll play in College Station. But one of the great rivalries in college football gets back out there. It's going to be fun to see.
Georgia and Florida both come to Austin next year. Robertson from the pocket, and nice throw and catch. Pulled in at the 41-yard line by Presley. It's a first down, gain of 11.
He's hobbled. Sawyer Robertson, best throw of the night. Far hash outside the numbers, on the money, in good coverage. He takes a shot as he delivers that pass. Linemen help him up. He's back out there showing some real toughness here tonight.
Yeah, and Dusty, he was hobbling after the first playoff with a handoff, so clearly he's been hurt and going into the locker room, but that was a dart to the sideline.
Hurt coming into the game, but he's playing. Blake Shapen, the normal starter, out again tonight due to injury. Robertson going downtown, and he's got a receiver. It's caught at the top and down to the 5, and the ball comes out. Recovered in the end zone by Texas. We're waiting for an official ruling. It looks like they're going to say catch, and then he was down. Baldwin ruled down after the catch. A 55-yard gain to the 4.
Yeah, he looked down. How about the speed? Gets over the top of Ryan Watts. No safety help. And he catches that football, goes down. Ball comes out after. Huge play for Baylor.
Pendergrass on the carry. He's leveled at the line of scrimmage. Maybe lost a half yard on the play. And that Texas defensive line so hard to run against. Baylor is barely in positive territory rushing yards, not just because of the sacks. They've had a lot of negative plays in the run game.
Dominic Richardson checks in. A couple of tight ends as well. Kelsey Johnson, 87, their best blocking tight end, as well as Matt Kloppenstein, the true freshman tight end, top of your screen.
And again, no running room. Swallowed by Alfred Collins. Senior D-tackle, 3rd and goal for the 4.
It was Alfred Collins, but Byron Murphy. Full extension, separation, nowhere to run with the football. I think this has got to be 2-down territory down inside the 5-yard line for Baylor.
A 1 would hope if you're a Baylor fan, you're probably wondering why would they ever even think about kicking a field goal at this point, down 25.
3 tight ends in the game. Try to power run with play action.
There it is. Play fake. In trouble. Robertson gets out of there. Being chased at the 15. Got to get rid of it and throws it out of bounds. It'll be 4th and goal from the 5. And again, you would imagine Baylor would go for it. Baron Sorrell in the backfield that time, along with Vernon Broughton. Boy, they're rotating guys. Yeah. So many dudes up front.
Loaded. So much depth. They're able to keep fresh legs on the field. And a night like this, when it's so hot, drains you, to keep fresh legs on the field is a huge added bonus.
Yeah, they've got guys in their 2 and 3 deep rotation that are in on huge downs like this.
Jordan Neighbors in the backfield, the wide receiver again. 4th and goal from the 5. Robertson into the end zone, picked off, intercepted by Jalen Ford. That is his 2nd interception of the season after 4 in 2022.
Just always in the right place. Great zone vision. See his drop. And then he's just going to have his eyes on the quarterback. Step right in the throwing lane. And Jalen Ford with a big takeaway for the Longhorns.
I want to shout out my mom, Lori Kinney. I'm being a principal at Wichita Falls, and just all the hard work you put in over the past 20 years and the impact you made on me and all your students, it doesn't go unnoticed, and I love you.
In honor of Extra Effort Teachers Week, ESPN is celebrating the role of teachers and their dedication to supporting each student's development inside and outside the classroom. On behalf of the College Football Playoff Foundation at ESPN, we recognize your passion, commitment, and the work that goes into ensuring your students succeed. We have a $1,000 Donors Choose gift card for Principal Lori Kinney's Wichita Falls High School, which they can use towards school resources that they and their students need. Texas ball after the Ford interception and a run of about 4 yards out to the 9. C.J. Baxter. There's Lori Kinney in the stands tonight. Watching Landry.
Awesome what she does, and so many teachers all across this great nation shaping the minds of our youth, man. It's awesome.
Ewers dumping it off here to Baxter. And a first down to the 20. Gain of 11 on the play.
Haven't seen much of C.J. Baxter tonight. Tom, I know that's a guy that you absolutely love. Top 30 player coming out a season ago.
Yeah, he's just so dynamic for a player of his size. You saw the ball skills there. They were on display against Alabama as well. They think he's going to be special. Got to stay healthy.
6'1", 220-pound running back. Gets the corner here. He gets pasted. Big hit by Devin Lemire. Just a 1-yard gain.
Devin Lemire has missed last couple of weeks. He's coming down with bad intentions. Watch Lemire. Going to come down from the top. Wow. Excellent tackle right around the line of scrimmage. Great to have him back on the field. So smart. Like having a defensive coordinator on the field. They've missed him the last couple of weeks.
Kind of expected more physical plays like that out of Baylor tonight. Hasn't happened. Ewers in the pocket, wrapped up for a sack by Matt Jones at the 17 for a loss of 4.
Good initial pressure by Byron Bonds, and then Matt Jones with a late ad to get the sack on Quinn Ewers. Second time we've seen him put Ewers to the turf. Baylor defensively looking to come up with a stop here early in the second half.
A third down and 14. No empty set here for Ewers.
Show pressure. Surprised if they don't allow these guys to drop back and play a little coverage. Empty set here for Texas.
8 touchdown passes on the year for Ewers. None in this game. Haven't needed that because of the great rushing attack. And he lobs it downfield. What a beautiful pass. Johnny Cook with the catch and run down to the 33-yard line. What a gorgeous throw by Quinn Ewers, a gain of 50.
With Quinn Ewers, the touch on this pass, working right out the center. He's just going to go right up the seam. And Lemire's eyes in the backfield looking at the quarterback allows Cook to get over the top in a big gain.
Brooks on the run. and it's a first down to the 21. That's now 225 consecutive passes for Quinn Ewers without an interception. That's the second longest in school history. Sam Ehlinger has the record at 308, so a ways to go for Ewers to break that record, but making plays, not making mistakes, having by far his best season 3+ games in.
Making good decisions with the football, not putting it in harm's way, and excellent accuracy when the ball comes out of his hand.
On target, Worthy into the end zone. Another Texas touchdown, the first through the air tonight for Quinn Ewers, and he finds his favorite target, Xavier Worthy.
Here we go, simple slant. Now, what I also want you to watch here, though, linebackers coming down. They bite on that play action, then run the football so effectively. Backers vacate, come downhill, middle of the field's open, and a strike from Quinn Ewers to Xavier Worthy.
95-yard drive, and they did it really with the two big pass plays. The extra point makes it 38-6, Texas. First touchdown pass of the day for Ewers. 9th on the season. 3rd for Worthy. 24 career touchdown grabs for Worthy. Number 3 all-time in Texas history. '21-yard touchdown grab by Xavier Worthy. Jonte Cook, the true freshman, with a 51-yard catch. Beautiful throw by Quinn Ewers. They're really high on Jonte Cook, 3rd catch of the year for him. Have to wonder at this point how much more we'll see of the likes of Worthy, and quarterback Quinn Ewers with the score 38-6. Enormous hit back at the 16-yard line. But Travion Wisner just destroyed Neighbors. Let's go to Kevin in the studio.
Dave, time now for our AT&T 5G studio update. Jabron Payne getting the Irish on the board, muscling in. Marvin Harrison Jr. has returned, and he's playing. Ohio State up 10-7 in the 4th. Meanwhile, over on ESPN, Jaden Daniels, look at this pass to Malik Neighbors. It is gorgeous. Right now, it's LSU up 31-24 against Arkansas on ESPN, Dave.
And LSU is on the road at Ole Miss next week. Ole Miss coming off a loss, losing to Alabama. Baldwin on the catch. And Gavin Holmes gets him out of bounds after just a gain of a couple. Boy, try to run between the tackles against that D-line, almost impossible tonight. Try to throw it to the perimeter, whether it's the linebacker speed or the DBs, not much there either.
Pete Kwiatkowski in year 3 as defensive coordinator. Much like this team overall, they've just gotten better and better. The personnel continues to improve, and the understanding of this scheme continues to improve. This defense playing at an extremely high level here tonight.
Baylor just going to keep it on the ground here with Reese. Comes up short of the line to gain. Anthony Hill Jr. in there first.
And that might be the most talented player on this defense. And we haven't even really called his name yet. I mean, he's still figuring it out. But he was the #1 linebacker coming out. You go back to that Alabama game, he was spying the quarterback, Jalen Milroe. He was lined up as a defensive end, making sacks. He has got such a bright future in front of him, Tom.
Yeah, and just to show you how deep Texas is and how talented they are, yet he can still get on the field. That just shows you the rotational depth.
Robertson, good pass that time, and a first down catch for the tight end Jake Roberts. Transfer from North Texas. Gain of 15 on the play.
Well-designed play, wide open in the flats. Good job there by Sawyer Robertson converting.
I just think Anthony Hill's so scheme versatile as a freshman. As you referenced against Alabama, he can rush the passer, he can run like a deer, plays inside, outside, and he's extremely mature given his age.
Denton, Texas, at the Ryan High School. First down on the 40, play fake. Robertson setting up, gonna get hit, gonna get rid of the pass, and it's incomplete. And Robertson with Jamon Tapp bearing down on him, took the shot. It'll be second down.
been a rough year so far for Sawyer Robertson. Rough night for the most part. But he has showed some toughness. Tap coming off the edge. Big hit once again on Sawyer Robertson. Gosh, they have just, from the opening possession, this Texas defense has been ferocious attacking the quarterback.
Robertson from the pocket and just not on the same page with Josh Cameron as that ball sailed well over Cameron's head. If you're Dave Aranda and you're assessing this performance and where you stand through 4 games, assuming they don't come back from down 32, you're 1-3 after a season that disappointed people after they went to the Sugar Bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think the biggest hope is you get your quarterback back. I'm not saying that he fixes everything, but he fixes a lot. Blake Shapen is a quality player, proven commodity. They need him to get healthy as quickly as possible.
Robertson dumping it off, but again, there's Hill bringing down Roberts. Loss of about a half a yard. 4th down.
Right on cue, Anthony Hill Jr. Watch him here as he's just going to loop around and make this play, lining up more as a true traditional defensive end as he's a looper. He feels that, shuts his rush down, and makes the play right at the line of scrimmage. Well done by Anthony Hill Jr.
So Palmer Williams to punt. We said that a lot tonight. You got 2 men back, Worthy and Whittington, at the 20-yard line of Texas. Another near punt block. Texas has been back there a few times. This time by Whittington, recovered by Baylor. Worthy put it on the ground earlier. This time it's Whittington. And was that the long snapper again, Garrison Grimes? Let's see who came up with it. Grimes was down there the first time, racing down the field to recover the muff punt earlier. Officials haven't even signaled yet that it's Baylor ball.
On the field as the punt was muffed by Texas, recovered by Baylor. First down.
And even with his helmet off, it's Grimes coming out of there with the football. And his dad, Jeff, the offensive coordinator. That's 2 fumble recoveries. Unfortunately for Baylor fans, they're still down 38-6.
Give that young man a helmet sticker. Good snaps and excellent effort down the field. Jumping on the football.
Did somebody take his helmet off? Because it was on when he recovered the football.
Crazy stuff happens at the bottom of a pile, Dave. I'm sure you haven't been there. You wouldn't know, but I can assure you, wouldn't be the first time that somebody lost a helmet in a scrum.
Dusty's been innocent of all charges.
Absolutely, Tom. I'll plead the 5th.
I bet you loved it, though, when somebody ripped off that helmet and those long flowing locks were going all over the place, and you were grabbing that fumble recovery, running off the field, putting it in the trophy case. Here's a screen that's caught at the 20-yard line by Richardson. Drawn out a play by Hill at the 14.
Anytime you get a chance to reference my blonde flowing locks, you'd love to. I really got to get Dominic Richardson going, though. I mean, I know it's kind of late when you're down 32, but, like, talk about moving forward and assessing this team. This is a zone-running team, and they brought in Dominic Richardson to kind of be that Abram Smith from a couple of years ago. We haven't seen it here, but they've got to get back to that to get back on track in Big 12 play.
Timeout here by Texas.
Timeout, Texas. This is their first of the half. This is a 30-second timeout.
Texas hangs on. Could be 2 ranked teams playing next week in Austin. Obviously, Texas is going to be ranked no matter whether they hang on or not, but I think they're going to hang on. 38-6, they lead Baylor. Kansas, unbeaten. Maybe the Jayhawks will get into the top 25 when they meet in Austin. 3:30 Eastern, and then 9th-ranked Notre Dame. Right now in a fight with Ohio State, taking on Duke, which is currently number 18 in the country. Duke with that big win over Clemson took care of UConn today.
We were there for that big win over Clemson. I think it shocked a lot of people outside of Mike Elko and Duke. They're running the football well, playing good defense, got an athletic quarterback, and Riley Leonard's going to be a fun matchup. I can't wait for that Texas-Kansas game. Lance Leipold's offense, Jalen Daniels, all the weapons he's got. Man, against this defense, it's going to be must-see TV next week.
2nd down and 6 for Baylor at the 15-yard line of Texas. Pitch to Neighbors inside the 10 and dragged down at the 8-yard line. Malik Muhammad, true freshman, corner. Made the stop, maybe said the touchdown.
Might have been the best run we've seen all night from Baylor. Nice job by Jordan Neighbors, who's typically a running back, and he used him in the backfield. Nice job getting to the perimeter, lowering the shoulder, and a quality first down run.
Yeah, I think it helps getting north and south too, Dusty. You're not going to run sideline to sideline on these guys.
Fourth red zone appearance for Baylor, just 2 field goals and an interception. No touchdowns allowed by that Texas defense today. Pendergrass, and it's driven back. Jalen Ford. Man. Big 12 preseason defensive player of the year. We talked earlier about how he's become more vocal. We met with him for a couple minutes yesterday, and bright young man having a terrific start to this season, coming off a great 2022.
Big-time football player is always around the football and always making big-time plays. We saw him earlier in the red zone with the interception. Here we go! I'll tell you who else, Byron Murphy really made that play and cleaned it up for his linebacker, Jalen Ford.
Trouble with the handoff to Pendergrass, but he secures it. It only gets maybe 2 yards down to the 5. Mo Blackwell, who has been injured, was projected to be a starter coming into the season. He's back. Made the tackle there for the Longhorns.
Run defense so stingy. Only giving up 26 yards on the ground. You're going to have to be able to scheme something up, create a play. If you're Jeff Grimes, I don't know if you're going to be able to hand this football off and run it in.
Final seconds here of the third quarter. Baylor trying to get its first touchdown of the game. Robertson to throw. Pressure on him. He steps up, and he's sacked back at the 8-yard line. Byron Murphy, the second, with the takedown. And that ends the third quarter. Texas defense with a spectacular 3 quarters in the books. 38-6 they lead. Back after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. So you look at the score by quarters. It was close early second quarter, and then Texas ripped off 21 points in about 8 minutes, and that put things out of reach. They've tacked on 10 more here in the second half. They lead 38-6, and Baylor going for it on 4th down and goal at the Longhorn 8. Sawyer Robertson in trouble again and sacked again. Justice Finkley with the sack. All right, moments ago, Tom talked with Dave Aranda.
Coach, what do you need to see out of your football team in this fourth quarter?
We have to see energy. I thought we started with it. We have to be able to finish with it. Then we got to see execution. I thought there's sporadic times in that first quarter where we had it, and there's way too many times where we did not execute. And despite all of it, the score and the frustration and all of the hurt, we got to execute. All right, thanks, Coach. Thank you.
Well, they did not execute on 4th down. A sack, the 5th of the day, given up by Baylor.
Yeah, Justice Finkley off the edge. Too easy. And once again, inside the 10 in this second half. And Baylor comes with no points.
When you were staying in the game, and Keelan Robinson getting a touch. Guy does a little bit of everything for Texas, and a gain of 9. Yeah, that offensive line, you see Christian Jones and Hayden Conner downfield blocking. No Cole Hudson, he's out with a knee injury, but they have depth on the O-line. They got terrific players up there as well. We need to give those guys some love for what they've done tonight.
Kelvin Banks Jr. is outstanding. Jake Majors, so smart, calls everything at the center spot. Cole Hudson's out right now, but DJ Campbell's a mauler in a right guard. Big time quality offensive line for the Horns.
Baxter, yeah, look at that movement at the point of attack. By the time there was contact on a short run, he's got the first down by a yard or 2 and then brought down.
Dust, you think about where this offensive line was just 3 years ago. Those guys you mentioned, Kelvin Banks, DJ Campbell, Cole Hudson, Cam Williams, who's a reserve at both tackle spots, all out of that 2022 class.
Play action pass. Yours was going to take a shot, but there was a lot of contact. The penalty flag is down. Adonai Mitchell tangled up with a Baylor defensive back. The flag was thrown on the near side, though, in front of the Baylor bench. Don't see a flag on the other side. Yeah, there is one there. Now being dropped at the 45-yard line.
Definitely a hold or pass interference on
Illegal
Mitchell.
Substitution. 12 men on the field. Defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Well, that official did pick up the flag. There was one at the 45 as well, and that official picked it up. So, yeah, no hold / pass interference, but you do get the penalty nonetheless.
Yeah, that class of 2022, that offensive line, I know Kyle Flood, very excited about those guys, and still just scratching the surface of what they're capable of as Mitchell takes a little swing pass up the sidelines for another first down.
It's been a long time since we've been talking about Texas offensive linemen as being high draft picks. You go back to Mike Williams and Leonard Davis, early 2000s.
I played against Mike Williams. That's how long it's been since Texas had a first-round pick. Mike Williams in the 2002 draft. It's the last first-round pick up front. That's amazing. It is. I mean, it's crazy. But I'm going to venture a guess this offensive line at some point is going to yield at least one first-round.
Just a sophomore as well. Here's a screen to Gunnar Helm. See a great block out there by Christian Jones. And then look at Jones running downfield. So you see big number 70 there? Sprinting downfield. Goes back to what Sark talked about with us yesterday. How everybody is all in blocking downfield.
Exactly right. I thought it was interesting. Kelvin Banks, he said he's actually made Christian Jones a better player. Though Banks, as you see, Christian Jones take a defender out of the screen, continues to go down the field, giving maximum effort. It's going to make Kyle Flood, Steve Sarkisian, this offensive staff very, very happy when they watch this film.
Texas averaging about 10 yards per play. Another run. Baxter. Short gain. Let's go to Kevin in the studio.
Dave, now for our Dr. Pepper Fansville studio update. Back to South Bend, Notre Dame, taking its first lead of the night. Sam Hartman to Rico Flores. Yeah, wide open in the end zone, 14-10. And then 4th and inches. Notre Dame's defense makes another big stand there, and they stop the Buckeyes. They got the ball with 4 minutes to go with a 4-point lead.
Well, not very often, obviously, that Ohio State and Notre Dame square off. Meanwhile, these two programs have met over 100 times, but it ends after tonight. Texas, last year in the Big 12, starting conference play in style with this game so far.
We met with last night Quinn Ewers as well as Jalen Ford, and I noticed their T-shirt said the farewell tour on the front, on the back. They had all of their opponents, and Sark did not mix words. The goal is Arlington by the end of the season.
Brooks stiff-arming, dragging defenders down to the 7. It'll be 1st and goal.
This is what they did to Alabama at the end of that game. This is what they did in the 4th quarter and late against Wyoming. Just line up and run the football right down their throat. Baylor's tired. The offensive line of Texas getting pushed, and it's looking easy right now.
Brooks dives to about the 1. Mentioned that they got Kansas and Austin next week, then Oklahoma. They still have to play BYU, K-State, Texas Tech at home. They go to Houston, at TCU, at Iowa State. That's the schedule for Texas. 2nd and goal from the 2. Brooks again, and he gets undercut there by Jones at the 3. Loss of 1, a rare negative play in the run game for Texas tonight. Texas had the 2nd most first-place votes behind Georgia this week. Michigan won today, beating Rutgers. So you would think that Michigan would stay at 2 and Texas at 3, but we'll see.
And that Alabama win today against Ole Miss, I think it only helps the resume for Texas.
No question.
A lot of people wondered, is Ole Miss going to go into Tuscaloosa and get a win today? Slow start for the Tide, but they finished very strong, getting a nice win against Coach Kiffin and Ole Miss. And that just bolsters the resume for this Texas football team.
Cameron Williams coming in the game. Christian Jones didn't look right on the Texas sideline there as they ran Brooks, and Baylor avoids giving up another touchdown. Good job there by Lemire.
Matt Jones really setting that edge, forcing Jonathon Brooks back inside to his help. You see Baylor at least hasn't completely given up, showing a little bit pride here, trying to keep Texas out of the end zone.
Matt Jones has been a good football player tonight for this defense. I know there's been a lot of problems, but we've mentioned his name an awful lot.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Tom. Totally agree.
All right, Texas going to go for it. 4th and goal from the 3-yard line. Again, Cameron Williams staying in the game at right tackle. So you're saying they're going to go to Sanders?
I know.
Illegal snap. Number 65, offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Well, that ends that. Now they're going to bring in the field goal team.
You saw they started him, though, in a wing, then motion him back. Typically, when they start moving around with Jonathon Sanders, you should keep an eye on him.
Love what they did earlier where I think it might have been the first play of the second half where they lined him up in the backfield, shifted him, and then they ran that double pass to him, right?
Double pass in the first half, right up the seam first play of the second half is when he had that one-hander.
26-yard field goal try, and it hits the right upright. No good. Really the only thing other than the muff punts that have gone wrong for Texas in this game. Still 38-6.
ABC's Saturday Night Football is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
That's Indian Bell, the American black bear cubs that live at the Bill and Eva Williams Bear Habitat located on the Baylor campus. New quarterback for the Bears is Austin native R.J. Martinez is in the game. And a lot of starts under his belt at Northern Arizona. We thought we'd see him earlier, finally getting a chance here, although his team's down 32 with 9 minutes to go. And they run it. Richard Reese, a gain of a couple. Martinez went to Westwood High School. And in one high school game, he had 50 completions, which tied Kyler Murray's high school state record. Was the Big Sky Conference Freshman of the Year at NAU a couple years ago.
He came in last week against Long Island for one series, and I thought he played pretty well. Didn't see him much after that. And really here just his second opportunity on the season. See what the young man can do.
Second 8. Pass batted down. I think it was Sweat. He may not have even jumped. He may have just stood there, put his hands up, and knocked it down.
He's a big old boy. 6'4", 360 plus.
Look at the numbers that Martinez put up in high school. We talked about that last line. How about 10 touchdowns in a game against Cedar Ridge and accounting for almost 800 yards of total offense. Wow.
That's quite the afternoon, I would say, for Mr. Martinez.
Beat Arizona a couple years ago when he was playing for Northern Arizona. 3rd and 8 here. Texas going to rush just 3. Martinez taking off. Trying to outrun Bush, who shoves him to the sideline. We're going to mark him short. Would imagine Baylor would go for it. 4th and a couple.
Dusty, that element right there is why I'm just so surprised he hasn't played earlier than right now.
Yeah, just scrambling ability. Yeah. And he's healthy. You know, I mean, as we know, Sawyer Robertson been really ailed with an ankle, unable to get the most out of his mobility. Nice pickup there on 3rd down, right.
So 4th down and 1. They're 0 for 3 on 4th down. They get it here, though. Pendergrass. Good hard run out to the 45.
And a good block by 58 Gavin Byers. Left guard really does an excellent job caving everything down, and a nice one-cut downhill run by Pendergrass.
And Texas rotating those D linemen. Play fake. Martinez flushed out of the pocket, throws to the sideline and complete. I thought maybe with Campbell and Clark Barrington up front that they might be able to run the ball a little bit, but it just never happened. I think they actually came out throwing to start the game and gave up 2 sacks on that first series. And that's kind of how the whole game has gone pretty much offensively for Baylor.
Yeah, this Baylor offensive line, they've been overwhelmed from really the first snap of this game by the front of Texas. Coach Grimes knew it was going to be a tall task, compared him to Alabama fronts that he played before. And this Baylor offensive line unable to stand up to this test.
Martinez throwing to the sideline, coming back to make the catch is Josh Cameron for a first down.
It's an outstanding catch by Josh Cameron. Really works back to the football. Full extension. Good strong hands to secure the catch. Nice job by Josh Cameron. Some receivers let their quarterbacks down today with several drops. But a timely quality catch there.
A rare trip into Texas territory. other than the mistakes caused by Texas on the 2 muff punts. Throw and catch. Kelsey Johnson, the tight end, on the grab, a gain of 6.
I like the way the ball comes out of his hand, Tom. I mean, he's a confident thrower of the football, changes arm angles, but a couple of nice throws back-to-back here for R.J. Martinez.
Yeah, and he's confident. He's decisive. The ball comes out, as you mentioned. I just think he gives them, I mean, sparks an overly used cachet, but we've seen that right here.
Goes 2nd and 4. Martinez dropping an arm angle again and completing it for a first down to Kelsey Johnson. There were some rumors and rumblings pregame that he might actually start, but we were told before the game yesterday, actually, by the coaches that it would be Sawyer Robertson, but we just assumed we'd see Martinez earlier. You wonder that long throw that Robertson had gave him some confidence. Maybe the coaching staff wanted to stick with him, as that's something that Robertson has been struggling with. Martinez to the end zone. Ball came out. Muhammad secured it for a second, but now they say incomplete.
Muhammad kind of turned into wide receiver there. That ball would have been overthrown. Looked like Josh Cameron just got a little bit disoriented on where he was. Lost the football, but turned around. Malik Muhammad was in perfect position for the pick, but as he hits the ground, ball pops out.
Just outside 6 minutes to go. Texas up 38-6. Martinez has a completion to Roberts, the tight end, near the 20. 3rd down coming up.
Baylor goes to UCF next week, and I really got to ask the question, if Blake Shapen isn't back, are you going to start R.J. Martinez? Because I think I would.
Rolling out here, throwing on the run. Could not connect with Baldwin. 3rd down.
A decision that this staff's going to have to really think about. Obviously, go through the course of the week of practice, see where their quarterbacks are at. The best case scenario is Blake Shapen's back, able to give it a go, but the long 8 more games of Big 12 play, and they've got to get that quarterback position right as soon as possible.
Shapen did a little bit more in practice this week. Did warm up, actually, in uniform. 4th down and 5. Martinez pass knocked away by Muhammad. Intended for Dabney. Another turnover on downs.
It's an excellent job by Malik Muhammad attacking the football, knocking it loose, and it's been all horns here in Waco.
Welcome back to Waco. Let's take a look at tonight's Mark of a Fighter Moments, brought to you by Modelo.
Take a look at this offensive line and the running backs of Texas. Been talking about the big uglies for the Longhorns all evening. Jonathon Brooks, 2nd straight 100-yard game. C.J. Baxter coming in, the true freshman, walks into the end zone. Brooks adds 1 more. It's really the balance of this Texas offense. Quinn Ewers, his weapons outside, the big offensive line, and the ability to run the football been on display all throughout the night tonight here against Baylor.
4 rushing touchdowns after 3 through the first 3 games. New quarterback Malik Murphy, 19-year-old with a big-time arm and a big dude at 6'5", 240 pounds. Hands it off to Jaden Blue on the first play, out to the 28. Murphy played against Rice week 1, was 3 of 5, battled through some injury last year to his ankle, ended up redshirting. He's the backup. Quinn Ewers, Arch Manning, obviously highly touted, is number 3, but a lot of people really like Malik Murphy coming out of high school. Blue finds a running lane past the 35.
Well, Murphy was the talk of the spring game. I mean, he lit it up. And, you know, Steve Sarkisian told us yesterday he's got one of the best arms he's ever had. That's quite the statement given the quarterbacks Steve Sarkisian's been around. I thought, Tom, just the fact that Malik Murphy's staying, not entering the transfer portal, was huge, given that Quinn Ewers was named the starter right there after spring.
Yep, right after spring, and Arch Manning's right there with him.
No runner this time for Blue. Cooper Lance there for the Bears.
Deep, competitive quarterback room there for Coach Sarkisian. And this Texas team. We see so many times now, Dave, that, you know, if you're a backup and you put out some good tape, good spring, and you know you're not going to be the starter, so many people are quick to jump in the portal. I tip my cap and salute Malik Murphy, saying, you know what? It's the best place for me. I'm going to continue to learn, continue to develop, get better. When my opportunity presents itself, make the most of it. That's rare in today's college football.
And Sark spoke very highly of Arch Manning, said he's been a great teammate. Knowing that he's not going to play much at all this year, if at all, as Savion Red, who's played some Wildcat quarterback this season, gets the carry.
Praised Manning's work ethic. Said he's a grinder. He's patient, right? Patient, not in a rush to get in there. I'd say a little bit from his uncles, Grandpa, probably instilled some pretty quality values in him.
Nothing wrong with redshirting, growing, developing, getting bigger, stronger, learning more about the game, growing up.
Yeah, no doubt, Tom. I totally agree.
Third down and 4 for Malik Murphy. Chance to show off that arm. And it was incomplete. Dropped that time by DeAndre Moore. So it's 4th down. Well, next Saturday on ABC, number 3 Texas will be home, taking on Kansas. Battle of undefeateds in the Big 12. 2:30 local time kickoff. Then at 7:30 Eastern time, Notre Dame, which currently is leading Ohio State by 4 late, taking on Duke on the road. Blue Devils ranked 18th in the country. And Texas going to punt it away here. Baylor came after that no return man deep. And beautifully done. It checks up and goes out of bounds around the 7-yard line. Has not been a great night for special teams, but that was a brilliant punt by Sanborn.
Kevin Agati in studio. Time now for the Chick-fil-A move on the field. The Golden Boot staying home because of this boot. Damian Ramos. It's good. Number 12 LSU beats Arkansas 34-31. By the way, game day, guys. Next week, going to Duke for the first time in football. Is Duke hosting Notre Dame? Back to you.
All right, Kevin, that's good stuff. We were there week 1. It was a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
For that Monday night win against Clemson. Riley Leonard, one of the great stories in college football. Pass into traffic that's caught by Armani Winfield out to the 11-yard line. Still one more play in that Ohio State Notre Dame game, but that's great for Duke football and the job that Mike Elko's done there to have game day there. That game is in this window, 7:30 Eastern on ABC kickoff.
Just a phenomenal job. That defense has been completely transformed. Riley Leonard has taken off as Ohio State scores a touchdown with essentially no time left. What a game in South Bend tonight. Wow.
Neighbors gets the carry. And first down to the 18-yard line. Well, Texas go to 4-0. First time since 2012, which was also the last time they were 3-0. The Jayhawks next week, the Sooners the week after that. And Steve Sarkisian discussed at length yesterday in a conversation with him about building the team culture and how the veteran players that were here before Sark and his staff were here and how they have led the way in building that culture and setting the tone for the younger players as Winfield catches it downfield. And also Quinn Ewers and his growth and maturity. He's talked about it a lot, talked about it with us yesterday, but we've seen it now on display in 4 consecutive games.
And it's everything, right? It's the, you know, year 3. Everybody's bought into the culture. The veterans have really stepped up. The younger pieces are more talented. I mean, it's just everything clicking on all cylinders for this Texas football team right now. And they're going to have a couple of tests the next 2 weeks. Kansas, not going to be easy. Last time Kansas went to Austin, they got a big win for Lance Leipold. Coach Leipold's done a great job. And Oklahoma is a much improved team from where they were a season ago. It's going to be a much bigger challenge for Texas down in Dallas than it was a season ago. But right now, this Texas team, they are loaded. playing great football the first quarter of this season.
Martinez sensing pressure, and the passing complete. 56 seconds remaining. Kevin and Booger will update you, as will ESPN and SportsCenter throughout the night on all the games going on. A finish that still is undecided in South Bend as well, between Notre Dame and Ohio State. Long review there. Third down and 1 for Baylor, and the Bears are going to drop to 1-3. Dusty mentioned it at UCF. They have 8 home games, a school record. Only team in the country this year to have 8 home games, but a 1-3 start despite a home field advantage to start the year. Cameron on the catch. Clock will stop to reset the chains, and then imagine only a couple more plays in this game.
Dave Aranda, I mean, he's got to rally the troops. You know, this is not the start that he wanted. Losing his quarterback week 1 is never an easy thing, but it's a team in a program that won a Big 12 championship and a Sugar Bowl 2 years ago. Can't wait to see how they rally after this rough start. First 4 games.
You know, it goes back to what you mentioned earlier. The quarterback, is Blake Shapen ready? And if not, who's the guy? Martinez or Robertson for next week? Really hard to evaluate Martinez because what the score is when he's in the game, and you know, Texas isn't coming after him like they were earlier. And a lot of those star players are out of the game, and even their backups who are really good and playing when the game was close are getting most of the reps here down the stretch. Good throw there. Catch to the 20-yard line with 28 seconds remaining, pulled in by Jonathan Davidson.
And even though this is against backups, Tom, I think this is valuable reps for R.J. Martinez.
It absolutely is. And he looks poised and calm. He can move around just like this.
Yeah, getting outside the pocket again, Lukes, and they'll head out of bounds, stop the clock with 17 seconds left.
Like what we've seen from him here in this limited action last couple of drives here in the second half. We've seen this Baylor offense, though, inside the red zone several times tonight, yet not be able to come away or cash in for a touchdown yet.
Obviously, that Texas defense deserves a ton of credit for that. Holding Baylor without a touchdown to this point. Winfield on the catch. Wrapped up. Went out of bounds with 10 seconds to go. They'll get rid of the chains, and then they'll run the clock. Baylor does have timeouts, but not using them here. Trying to end the night on a positive with the first touchdown of the game for them. Martinez on the move. Incomplete. 2 seconds left.
Well, he can sling it from just about every arm angle, can he? He's like one of those old submarine-style pitchers back in the day.
Kenta Colby.
Kind of looks like Thomas Castellanos last week.
Maybe a Dan Quisenberry looking like throw there. R.J. Martinez.
So, Texas leading 38-6, trying to end the game with another stop in the red zone. Martinez pass, incomplete. The game's over. Texas looks like a contender the way it's played through the first 4 games of the season. This was impressive, both sides of the ball, as they blow out Baylor on the road, and likely the final meeting between these longtime Big 12 foes. 38-6, the final score. We'll have more from Waco after this.